Holy smokes. You know what? We are days away from President Trump being reconfirmed as the president of the United States, but holy smokes, is shit hitting the fan. You know what? Last night, President Biden on his way out. Yeah, I don't know if you saw his farewell to the nation speech, but really, you know what? A, you know it wasn't live. B, he had no idea what the hell he was saying. And he's taking credit for the Hamas situation, saying that it was his team for 8 months negotiating and kicking the idea that President Trump actually had any hand in this. You know, we can sit there and say all we want about, you know, Trump taking some credit, but if it wasn't for him, I'm pretty sure that negotiation would keep going forever. And if Biden had won the election, you can just imagine what direction the country would be going and the rest of the world. See, this is one of the important things I think everybody has to understand is the overall influence that President Trump is having on the world today and will be for the next 4 years. It's funny how all the doomsayers, you know, they're sitting there saying, oh, he's going to trash everything. But yet, all of a sudden, everybody wants to behave to the point where in Canada, you know, the Prime Minister decided to have a meeting with all the premiers. And one of the premiers there, who was the premier of the biggest province, which is Ontario, the biggest financial contributor, he turns around and, of course, he's going to stomp his feet because he's sitting there saying, you know what, we're going to deal with tariffs. Well, listen to what he had to say.
You know, Donald Trump is a brilliant negotiator. That's what he's done his whole life.
That's pretty funny, eh? The guy's sitting there and, you know, it's amazing because I'm going to play another clip for you, but the premiers have not listened to a thing that Donald Trump has requested, almost demanded. Now, on top of that, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, listen, Justine, get the hell out of here, Trudeau. He keeps turning around and making the mistake that when he hears the word tariff, and now he's got these little NIMBYs following him, that they think the word tariffs mean that no matter what's coming in. And yet, President Trump has just basically said, get your shit together, clean up your borders. We don't want to see your fentanyl coming into our country. Now, instead of addressing that, they have to have an emergency meeting and now turn around and get together and say, hey, look at us, we're so tough. Well, let's see how tough they really are.
But at the end of the day, when the tariffs come, it's going to affect Albertans. It's going to affect people from BC and Saskatchewan and Manitoba, Ontario, Quebec, all the way down the road. No one's exempt from that. And all I believe in, you know, if it comes to that, let's have the tools in our toolbox to react, to send a strong message. But it's not going to be all of a sudden one province or one territory is exempt on this. When Donald Trump comes at us, he's not going to say, well, let's not worry about Ontario. They're good people or Alberta.
Okay, let's stop it right there. So he keeps, you know, and this is where our delusional politicians continue in Canada. It's like, you know, let's get ready for the tariffs. Why not do what they asked? Okay, look, here's the thing. In an argument, if somebody says to you, I want you to do this, and you do the exact opposite to what they're saying, you're only giving them fuel to the fire. But hey, look, what if, you know, Premier Ford, why don't you get your shit together and actually protect the borders? You know, yeah, I know it's a federal mandated thing, but get everybody to kick in. Let's get the borders protected. Then, if we do all those things, and President Trump comes back saying, I'm going to charge you tariffs, you can say, yeah, hang on, that wasn't what you asked of us. We did what you asked, and here you go. Now, the funny thing is that everybody right now is sitting there saying, oh, you're you know, this guy's threatening you, so you're gonna cave. No, we need to protect our borders. Hey, you know what? Don't kid yourself. People are coming in from the United States into Canada. We don't want either. So having stronger borders as a Canadian, I'm telling you, I want it. So when we deal with politicians like this, when he says tools in the toolbox, well, he's a tool that isn't even being utilized. This guy is an idiot for him thinking that All you have to do is do what they ask, not sit there and say, oh, I'm going to get tough. Yeah, you're really tough. Okay. You're talking about one of the biggest economies in the world and you're going to take them on. Danielle Smith. Okay. She is, just so you know, the premier of Alberta, and bright lady. She actually was smart enough to go down and have a meeting with President Trump in Mar-a-Lago. Yeah, she had a sidekick with her. Yeah, that's Mr. Wonderful. Yeah, he's Canadian. You can keep him if you want. But the fact is that he showed up because, he wants to be the next Elon Musk. Well, good luck on that. But the fact is that he turns around, and when Danielle Smith, the premier of Alberta, she goes down knowing that she has a negotiation tool. You know what? Alberta is the oil-rich part of Canada. And the fact is that she's opening the door saying, I'm going to protect the borders. We're going to work together with free trade. And then you've got the other premiers that are sitting there saying, oh, it's either one for all or all for one. You know what, Danielle? I wish that you were running the country, not just Alberta. You need to replace that asshat that we have as a prime minister. Yeah, he's prorogued, but hey, why not on your way out give another $400 million, to Ukraine while you're at it? Because after all, Canadians aren't starving as it is. So the most important thing here is that as we watch our entire political arena here in Canada devolve, they're absolute garbage. Other than, I'll tell you, Premier Smith, she's impressing me because she's actually understanding what she has to do as a leader in this country. One of the most important things I always say here is, as Canadians, we have to look out for our fellow Canadians, right? It's pretty much a given. Danielle Smith is looking out for her province and her fellow Albertan Canadians. Good for her for doing it. I'm going to call out Premier Ford one more time. You're not looking out for Canadians, not at all. You keep thinking tariffs a bad thing. Well, tariffs don't happen if you do actually what you're asked and what you should have been doing in the first place. Prime Minister Trudeau, just go away already. Don't put Mark Carney in, by the way. He's absolute anarchist. We'll be screwed if he does come in. And there's so much more to talk about that. I'll definitely do another post on some of our politicians and our would-be potential people for prime minister. But the most important things, as I always say, watch out for you, watch out for your neighbors, watch out for your friends, definitely watch out for your family. Let's protect the next generation. As taxpaying Canadians, we need to do that. And of course, I'd love to hear your comments on this. I'm Todd C. Slater. Thanks for tuning in.